Good morning and welcome to the show. It's Wednesday, so you know what that means. We've got all kinds of money-saving tips for you today on Wednesday, and we kick it off with Vonda, the coupon queen, my friend Vonda Gaynor. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Don.
It's always good to see you, and I always learn something. I know we talk about coupons a lot,
yes,
during your segment, and we also talk about money-saving tips, but are all coupons the same in a way, or
no?
Do we need to read the fine print, or how does all that work?
Yes. A lot of people make the mistake of just looking at the picture that's on a coupon. That's the first mistake.
And you'll see a big number, too. It'll be like 10 cents off, or 15 cents
yes,
off, or 50 cents or whatever.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll use a can of soup, Campbell's Homestyle soup. It comes in cans, pouches, cups. Mm-hmm. But if a consumer sees a picture of a can, they make the mistake and think that they can only use that coupon for the picture that's posted, mm-hmm, and that's not true. It's for
really?
any, look for the word any. If a coupon says any, that means any variety of that item that the company sells.
Oh.
Also, transaction and purchase, those two words are very confusing, but I'm going to simplify it.
Well, a purchase is a transaction, right?
Kind of, sort of, but in coupon lingo, a purchase basically means an item. So if a coupon says limit 1 coupon per purchase and you're going to buy soup, if you had 4 coupons, you could get 4 cans of soup and use 1 coupon on each can. However, if it says limit of 1 coupon per transaction, that means 1 coupon can only be used.
All right, so some coupons, we've been through this, coupon, you can use multiples in yes, one trip to the register.
Yes.
In other coupons, you cannot.
You cannot. If it says limit of 1 coupon per transaction, that's mm-hmm, 1 coupon. So if you were going to buy 4 cans of soup, you would only be able to use 1 coupon, not 4, because it says limit 1 per transaction. So basically, transaction is your whole entire order. Purchase, as far as it pertains to coupons, is each item.
So you really have to, it pays
yes,
to pay attention to the small print. And then you've got to organize yourself, I suppose.
Yeah,
your
but you
coupons.
know what? Using just a regular envelope, a basic envelope. Mm-hmm. I have 2 binders, but if I'm just making a really quick trip, I'll get a regular white envelope and just put the coupons I'm going to use inside and go. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you don't have to get extravagant.
Yeah, because I see people in the stores.
Yeah.
Not that I do a lot of shopping. Karen does most of that. But I mean, you see them.
Yes.
You see people in the stores with their little accordion files with their little coupons, and they got it all organized and all that stuff. Do you do much of that, or?
I have 2 binders.
Okay, so you're a professional.
I am.
Yeah.
But if I didn't own my own business, I wouldn't have 2 binders. Mm-hmm. No way.
I don't know if you're just, going about your business as a person and a mom and all mm-hmm, that, and running a household. 1 or 2 envelopes might do the trick.
That's exactly what I'd use.
Yeah, and you got to keep your eye out for those money-saving deals too.
Yes, you do. And the best tip for that is on Wednesdays, because to me, grocery stores, that's where everybody should be shopping at to save money, because we all have to eat. Mm-hmm. So every Wednesday, just look for the ads. Go online and pull them up if you're not going to get a paper. So that's my best tip for finding deals, is on Wednesdays.
Isn't that funny? You're on the show on Wednesday, and all the big deals happen on Wednesdays. What a coinky dink.
I know.
We couldn't have planned it any better.
We couldn't have, Don.
Vonda, the coupon queen. We can find you on Facebook.
Yes.
And we can contact you that way, right?
Yes. Everybody does.
I know. And we can get money-saving tips there, too.
Always.
Thank you, Vonda. Always a pleasure having you on. And we'll be right back after your Waking Up with Don weather. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Laura Nelson from A-List Accounting. Laura, welcome back to the show.
Good morning.
Yeah, good to see you again. Now, you've got a list here, I see, of 5 things that all successful businesses should do regularly.
Correct.
Okay, so one thing you should do regularly is show up, I guess. Show up to work.
Yes.
That's a given.
Run your business, yes.
Yeah. What are some of the other things we should be thinking about as small business owners?
Right. Well, basically, when you started out your business, you pretty much started with a business plan.
Mm-hmm.
You want to look at your
Presumably we did.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. You had an idea in mind and you planned out your future.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course, things come into place and they change. So you want to review your business plan on a regular basis, adjust it, adapt it as you grow, and also your budget. And then you also want to take on change in terms of software, technology.
So that business plan is something maybe every 6 months or so, maybe once a year, annually, or when you think of it. I mean, when should you look at it?
Yeah, at least annually.
At least.
Yeah, maybe at the beginning of the year, the end of the year, just kind of see where you are and if you're heading in the same direction you planned on.
And it's not carved in stone,
No,
so
it's
you can
not.
adjust all that. You know, and of course your budget as well.
Yes.
I mean, you budget for some things,
Right.
and maybe you run a little short. You'll have to cut budget in some areas, or
Exactly.
you're making a little money, and you're making
Exactly.
bigger in another.
Yeah. Yeah, because by analyzing your budget and your business plan, if you see you need to cut in certain areas, well, you need to figure out why. Is my sales down? If they are, then what can I do to make them better?
Yeah, well, that makes simple sense to me. And you talked about software and technology, and you know my story. I started out with accounting software I really didn't understand.
Correct.
It was up here when I was down here.
Right, right. Yep.
So sometimes you have to get the appropriate technology for your skill level, for your business.
That's right. Well, and there's a lot of people that don't accept change, so therefore they're still doing it on paper, or
Oh, that's true
you
too,
know,
yeah.
or just in some DOS prompt system kind of thing.
Yeah, I know. I mean, if you're an older person who's been in business for
Right.
a long time, maybe you're used to
Yes.
pen and ink.
But they could be more efficient, less time consuming by moving into the newer technology and adapting to new software.
We have to run off to a break, but on the other side of that, let's talk more about these things that we should do to keep our small businesses successful. We'll be right back with Laura Nelson from A-List Accounting after these messages. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Laura Nelson from A-List Accounting, and we're talking about the 5 things that your small business should be doing, or should do occasionally.
Yeah.
And one of them was to review your budget
Yes.
and your business plan, at
Correct.
least annually.
Correct.
The other one was embrace new technologies or software,
Correct.
which, you know my story, we talked about that. No need to go into that any further. It was a sad story. And, you look at a guy like me who was a business major who graduated 25, 30 years ago, things have changed since then in a big way.
Yeah.
So, and then I see you've got delegating job tasks and responsibilities.
Yes. As an entrepreneur, beginning business owner, you think you can do it all. And, and if you keep on that pace, you will wear yourself out or go crazy one. And so, I mean, the idea is to let go, and that in order to grow, you've got to grow with your company and hire people, and they'll help you, and then therefore you can get more business and you can grow.
And it may be an extra added expense to you
Yes.
to let go of some of that, those responsibilities. But in the long run, it's probably worth it because it frees your time up to do the more important things like
Exactly.
running your business.
The higher level things, exactly.
Exactly. You can pursue higher levels of thinking and decision making.
That's right.
Now, what's the next point? We've got, 1, 2, 3 down. And now the 4th one is know your financials.
Know your financials. If you don't understand your own financials, then your business isn't going to work, because you won't know when you're doing good or bad, or, how to adjust. And if you can't do your own, then
Get somebody like you.
get an accountant. Exactly.
Get an accountant who can kind of spell it out for you, teach you how to do all that stuff,
Exactly. Yep.
And should you look at your financials every day, or should you just, when billing comes around, should you be looking at those little reports and things that QuickBooks will generate for you? Or?
Yeah. No, I mean, you should look at them daily. I mean, you should see where your money's going, when your money's coming in, that kind of thing. Yep.
Yeah, that's probably good. And then there's one last thing. It says take calculated risks.
Yes. Yes. In order to make your business grow, you got to take a chance and, maybe go down a different route.
Yeah.
Start a new project, or,
Yeah, you got to
So-
switch it up a little, keep it
Exactly.
interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, and sometimes it may cost you a little.
Right.
But I guess it takes money to make money sometimes, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah.
So take those calculated risks.
Yeah.
Or you could actually just call Laura Nelson at A-List Accounting, and she'll tell you all this in person. Laura, thanks so much for
You're
coming
welcome.
on the show, and we'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Heather Noyes from Raymond James Financial, and it is tax time, and people are making all kinds of moves, and I think people automatically think, I got to get an IRA. for next year
They
if
should.
you don't have one. Yeah.
And they still have time to get it
Yeah.
for last year, actually. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
so they still have until April 15th to fund it. So if you've not done your taxes, you still have an opportunity to help kind of relieve that tax burden.
And what are the advantages? Why should we get an IRA?
Well, the biggest advantage is if you qualify, because there's income limitations, if you qualify for to contribute to an IRA, then you can reduce your income that year by that amount of money. So it's a tax deduction for you. So it makes it, again, less money you have to give to Uncle Sam. And then that money grows tax deferred. And then when you go to use it for retirement, pull it out, that's when you'll pay taxes only on what you actually take out of the IRA at that time.
So how does an IRA make money, though? For guys like me, it's black magic. I have no idea. How does an IRA actually make money?
I'm glad you asked that, because I've actually been asked a couple of times in the last week, like, how much does that IRA make? Well, really, it depends on how it's invested. And the IRA is merely how you title the account. It entitles you to all the tax advantages associated with it. But inside that account, we can do any type of investment vehicle that I offer. So we offer everything from individual stocks, individual bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, UITs, insurance products like annuities can even be bought in the IRA, and even CDs. We do CDs with a nationwide banks as well. So you can have any of these investments inside that IRA, and they can be changed around as well without any tax implications. The only time that there becomes, again, a tax implication is if you take something outside of the IRA. But as long as you remain under this IRA umbrella, if you will, you can change around.
So you can have a whole variety of investments within an IRA, and you at Raymond James can tailor that IRA to the person's life situation.
Exactly. So depending on their risk tolerance and their time horizon, we would maybe make more conservative investments for somebody that's already retired or somebody that has less risk tolerance. Because I have clients that are already retired and have been retired that have pretty aggressive portfolios. So some of it really depends on the individual and their ability to understand and tolerate risk, if you will.
And just in my experience, if you don't understand, you're not going to take too many risks, usually.
Right.
I mean, that's the way I am, at least.
Yeah, because you're just looking at the bottom line, and you see that statement from month to month. If it goes from here to here, then that's that's not good if you don't understand exactly why. You're
But
right.
as an investor or a saver or a person who just wants to retire comfortably and wants to supplement their retirement somehow, do I really need to know every little thing that's going on in my IRA? Or can I just buy an IRA that says, okay, we're going to give you this amount at this point in time?
I mean, you don't have to understand every bit of it, but I think you need to trust who you're working with is a very
that's probably
key.
key, yeah.
So if you are trustworthy in the person that you're working with and trust that they're working in your best interest, then I think that you're fine. Because a lot of what I do, I work with individuals too that aren't as savvy or they don't have time for it. I don't have time to watch the stock market. I don't have time to make these changes on my own, so I'm going to rely on you. But then there's still an accountability issue where I meet with that person regularly to say, hey, here's what's going on and here's why, and here's some things that we may want to change, or we're going to leave everything just like it is. So.
How often should I meet with you? How often should your clients meet with you to kind of check on how things are going? And should it be like just tax time or?
We actually talk to our clients on a quarterly basis. We contact them, and we like for you to come in and meet at least annually, where you sit down face to face.
So it's not just a statement in the mail.
Right. And then if there's any life changes along the way, so maybe you had a child or a grandchild, or you got divorced, or you got married, then those are times you want to come in, or a job change where you want to get with your financial advisor as well and go over what those changes are and how how they affect you, and if there's anything you need to change with your plan.
Yeah, I'm the type of person, I think a lot of people are like me, lazy. And you just want to put it on like fire and forget, like a fire and forget missile. You want to, just get it going.
And we have a lot of clients that like, I don't want to come in. You're doing a great job. I don't need to do. I don't even need to come in. You just do what you do, and we get a lot of that, and that's fine too. But we still touch base with you, make sure that that you are comfortable, and if there's any questions or any issues that you need to discuss, then my assistant Chris will get you get you in.
So when in doubt, call Heather Noyes at Raymond James
Absolutely.
Financial.
Right.
Heather, thanks so much for coming on the show and further confounding me on IRAs. See Heather Noyes, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Dan Hines from Dan Hines Coaching, and today we're going to learn about budgeting.
Yes, sir.
Dan, welcome back. I know we've
morning,
talked
Don.
about budgeting before.
Yes.
But you know, you just can't talk about it enough, and you really
Right.
can't emphasize how important it is to live within your means and plan for the future.
Absolutely. And what I want to dispel today are a lot of budgeting myths, I suppose, or rumors. Because a lot of times when I start working with my clients and with families and talking about budgeting, I ask, well, how do you budget now? And a lot of families will say, well, I get out a pad of paper and I write down, you know, my Comcast bill or my credit card bill and mortgage and rent and all. They write down all their bills, make sure they're paid, and then that's the end of the story, which is a great start to budgeting, but that's not how I teach my clients how to budget.
Really?
What I teach is called zero-based budgeting.
Zero-based budgeting.
Yes, so you write, the first thing you do is when you want to start budgeting is you want to write your income at the very top. So we're in March right now, so let's say in April, you say, okay, here's how much we're going to make in April. And then it's like a pie or a cake, and you have to figure out, you give every dollar and every piece a name and a mission. So you take your income and you say, okay, this dollar is going to go to the bills, this much is, but then you can also say, well, I'm going to save some money, or I'm going to put it into retirement, or I'm going to try to pay extra on the credit cards, or, you know, it's going to go to food and other stuff as well.
And that's probably a good way just to take inventory of where you're spending your money.
Yes.
And then once you realize like where your money's going, you're like, we spend that much on phones, on cell
Right,
phones, or we
exactly.
spend that much on water, or we spend that much on cars, or whatever.
Well, and coffee is a big one too. So I've got some
yeah.
cousins that wanted to start saving for retirement, and they got out their credit card bills and they started adding things up and figuring out where they were spending money. They found out they were spending $200 to $300 a month on Starbucks.
That's like a latte tax.
Yes, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
And I love Starbucks, and I love going there, and there's nothing wrong with doing that or anything else that you like as little habits, but they can add up. Is that if you've got two adults and they each get a drink in the morning, every day when they go to work, you know, that's 20 working days with two adults, that can be $200 pretty quick.
Yeah.
Or if you wash your car or you wash your truck a lot, you know, that's $4 or $5 per car wash.
I'm guilty of that.
See,
I'll drive the car through the car wash, something, and I'll just get the basic thing. I think, $6 for a car wash.
Right, right. And there's not. And when I'm working with my clients, I tell them, you know, if you want to go to Starbucks, I'm absolutely fine with that. As a coach, I just want to make sure that they're writing down their income and they're figuring out where all their money, where they want it to go. Because when you have that whole pie and you're trying to divvy out pieces, if you want Starbucks, that's fine. That's awesome. But if it means that you're not paying a bill, or if you're not saving for retirement, or you're not paying extra on the credit card debt, that's where I work with my clients to say, well, you've got to say no to something in order to say yes to something over here. But that's why the budgeting helps out extremely well, is because it helps you know where to move money around.
And then you've got to do, I guess, sort of a little budget triage. And what if you're spending more than you make and you don't even realize it? And you've got
Yes.
this little pie chart.
Well, and there's kind of two ends of the spectrum.
Because coffee's a pretty easy fix.
Yes.
But there may be some other things that you might have to look at, maybe your car insurance, how to cut that back a little bit.
Yes, exactly.
Or necessities.
So,
like that.
so when you want to say, well, in order to retire, if I need $200 or $300 a month, and you can only right now afford about $150, then that's where you start to dive in to say, where can I save $50? And you can plug a dollar out of different things to figure out where it goes. And I've seen both ends of the spectrum. I've seen clients where they say they're living paycheck to paycheck, but they're making six figures, which sounds ridiculous, but it's they're paying their bills, but then they're spending money on toys and trips and other stuff, and they don't know where the money's going.
I think, Dan, it's kind of human nature to spend up to what you earn. Isn't
Yes,
it?
right. You get kind of promoted up until your level of intelligence, and but there's the other end of the spectrum too. Is that if you truly are living paycheck to paycheck, budgeting is also very important, because you can start to plan your month, and once your month is planned, you can break it down by paycheck to say, well, this paycheck is going to pay the water bill, and this paycheck is going to pay the gas bill. So you can start to get organized in a calendar fashion as well, because especially if you're on that end of the spectrum, then you've got you could have overdraft fees. I mean, even if you still have a credit card account or a bank account, is that overdraft fees can really kill you as well.
Are there, I guess, and I know if somebody calls Dan Hines Coaching. You
Yes.
can get all the details on it. But I guess there are recommended percentages on how much you should be paying for what. Like I heard, like maybe a third of your pay maybe for housing.
Usually it's about a quarter. I mean,
quarter?
about 25%. If that goes for your mortgage and your insurance and your taxes, 25%, you'll be doing okay. That's kind of what you want to shoot for. If you find out that you're at 30%, you know, life has happened, it is what it is. If you can back that down at all, move into a smaller house, it'd be better, and it'll help out everything else as well.
We want to learn more. We just contact you, Dan Hines at Dan Hines Coaching, and your website is?
FixingFamilyFinances.com.
FixingFamilyFinances.com. And thank you so much for that wise advice.
Thank you, Don.
And we will see you next time.